What is up, brothers and sisters? Welcome to the Mitch Gray Show. I really appreciate you joining us. We are actually really excited. We're streaming live on Instagram. And so for all the Instagram users that are watching us, I hope you can hear me. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. And we are also streaming live on Facebook and got a thumbs up on Instagram. Awesome. So we're streaming live on Facebook as well. And this episode will also be up, as every episode will be up on our YouTube channel. That's Mitch Gray, Gray. It'll also be up as a podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, I don't know, wherever you listen to podcasts, this episode will be up there as well. So I've got multiple cameras going, and I'm rocking all of this by myself, and so I'm going to do what I can and make sure we inspire you to the best of our abilities. So thank you for joining us. If you've not subscribed to the Mitch Gray Show, make sure you do that. Again, you can subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also subscribe on the YouTube channel if you want to check out the video version of everything that we do. Some really cool stuff happening. First of all, for everyone that is watching us on camera, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube later, make sure you go order your copy of The Gathering Place. That is my new book that released in May. And just this week alone, I received a few messages from some folks that have read the book or are reading the book. And it's really inspiring people. And so we are super stoked about what the book is doing, about how it is inspiring people and encouraging people. That is exactly why we do what we do. So go order your copy today. You can find it anywhere you buy books, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Lulu, wherever else you can buy. You can walk into your own brick and mortar bookstore and order a copy there. So they probably won't have one in stock, but they can definitely order that for you. You can check out our website, mitchgray.me, and you can actually order a copy of the book there. If you order it through our website, I'll autograph it for you personally and ship it your way. So please go order your copy of the book. As most of you know that have subscribed to us and have been listening to the podcast, last month we began having guests on the podcast, and that is one thing that I've had as my goal for about a year and a half, and we're finally making that come into fruition. Our first guest was my friend Miguel from Kansas City. You can follow him on social media at Middle T Music. Miguel is a musician and an entrepreneur. He used to be the front man for the band called Run With It. Great musician, great guy, such passion. Please give him a follow on Instagram or Facebook, Middle T Music. Our second guest last month was my friend Kylie Johnson. Kylie lives in California now and is actually a graphic designer, kind of a guru of all things building websites and building email templates. I've actually used her services, and she is amazing. So if you need any creative service like that, make sure you go check out Kylie Johnson. You can find her on Instagram, Kilee Johnson. So follow her. She is also a spiritual teacher, and she has some this morning I was looking at her stories, and she has some really cool stuff that she introduces and shares from her life that have benefited her and that might just help you as well. So make sure and go follow Kylie. Our next guest will be on next week, actually this week, I'm sorry, yeah. She'll be on Thursday, and so that episode will be streaming live Thursday morning at 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. That's the time zone I'm in, so 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern. And so that'll be streaming live, Instagram, Facebook on Thursday, and then it'll be up as a podcast. But my next guest, her name is Amanda Ruane, and she is such an inspirational person. You can follow her on Instagram, Amanda.thicktofit. So ThickTofit. And Amanda has an amazing story of such a transformation in her life, physically, mentally, spiritually, and I'm really excited to have her on. She's a great follow on Instagram. She shares not only the good stuff. Sometimes you follow these people on social media and all they share is like the best days, right? Like a few of my buddies and I talk about it. It's like if you follow certain people on Instagram, you think their life is perfect and nothing happens. But the problem is life, right? Life happens. And Amanda does a great job at showing the challenging days and the days that maybe she doesn't do as well as other days. But then she also shows how to bring physical health, especially to your life. And she deals with some other physical situations as well with her health. And so Amanda will be on Thursday. Next week, we have another guest on, one of my dear friends in life, Andy Mazzolini. So I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, we are doing everything we can to inspire you. That was my promise to you before the end of the year, is that I would do everything I could to inspire you, to move you forward, to help you step into your full living. You know, some of us just swim in the shallow water, right? Because we like the safety. It's almost like life is this ocean and there's so much to discover. There's islands sitting out there. There's awesome boats to ride. There's surfing to be had and fishing and swimming. But so many of us just swim in the shallow water. It's like it's safe. I don't have to worry about anything. But the problem, my brothers and sisters, if you stay in the shallow water, I promise you will get to the end of your life and you'll be like, I missed it, right? I missed it. So don't stay in the shallow water. And that's what we want to do, is inspire you to swim out a little further, just a little bit at a time, just a little bit at a time. And as you learn to swim in the deeper waters of life, you're going to want more, I promise. As I've said a few times before, we're rebuilding the website, mitchgray.me. Hopefully by the end of the month, that'll be ready for you to check out. You can check it out now, but we want to bring a new version to you that'll offer you some more of the things that we have in store. New music is coming. By the end of the month, I'll have my new acoustic EP album ready and released, and I've got 2 songs done. And if you're watching me on video, you're seeing me smile because I'm really proud of these songs. It's much different than the last 2 albums, and so I think it'll be a good surprise for you. And so that'll be out, and then in March we'll have our new full band EP out, and then we're doing another one that'll be out in September. Oh my gosh, we've got so much stuff in store for you. So yeah, new format, I've already said. We're streaming live now on Facebook, and we're streaming live now on Instagram, and this will be up on YouTube. You can listen to it in the podcast version. I know I keep repeating myself, but I have to, because I want you to know where you can find the Mitch Gray Show, where you can find the inspiration. So make sure you follow us on social media, M Gray Media. That's MGRAY Media. Follow us everywhere, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and you will not regret it, I promise. And we like to make you laugh sometimes too. All right. Let's move into this episode of the Mitch Gray Show. So what's going to happen this month is I decided to do a series. In fact, we announced this a week or so ago on social media. I decided to do a series this month. What I've learned is, first of all, I'm not the type of guy that's just going to give you straight advice necessarily, because the advice that has worked for my life may not be totally applicable to your life or to your situation. I prefer to be a facilitator. I prefer to be the guy that helps you discover where you need to be, how you need to get there, and when you're going to go. And so much of the things that I give you are opportunities for you to learn more about yourself, how to review and reflect on your life, and then make a decision on how to press forward. But what I've learned is oftentimes people want just simple, advisable steps, and I'm totally cool with that. And so I'm kind of reshaping things every once in a while to give you some ideas and some specific opportunity to engage within yourself of how you can move forward in your life, or how you can deal with things that have happened in the past, or how you can deal with things that are happening now, or how you can have that conversation that always goes on inside our minds, right? The voices telling us the certain stories, how we can kind of deal with those. And as I like to say, have a cup of tea with those voices so that we can learn more about ourselves. It doesn't make us crazy. It actually makes us wise to listen to some of those voices. And so this month, that's what we're going to do specifically. And as I'm getting feedback on the show and on the podcast, I've noticed that the episodes that I give some of those advisable steps, people are like, yeah, we liked that. That gave us something that we could regurgitate in life and apply it. So this month, here's what we're talking about. The topic is unbecoming. Unbecoming. Now, the idea of unbecoming has a couple of different perspectives, right? Someone could say, well, that's unbecoming of her. So what they're saying is the action or the attitude that that person showed was kind of in a negative light. In other words, they made a decision or they took action that is going to project into other people a negative light of that person. That's unbecoming. But the other perspective or definition of unbecoming could be learning more about myself so that I can become more of myself. So in other words, I'm dressing down all of the noise. I'm making it unbecoming. I'm making it something that I'm not going to be anymore. I'm dressing down all of the noise and all of the negativity. And then I'm going to redress myself in a stronger, more positive, more situational type of being. So I'm unbecoming, I'm shifting, I'm changing, I'm doing something different than before. That is the perspective of the word unbecoming that we are going to use for the month of January. So episode 1 of Unbecoming is this: the discovery of you. The discovery of you. It's almost like life is this crazy journey where we're constantly learning about ourselves. And what I've noticed is the people that are focused on learning more about themselves actually become the healthiest and strongest of us all. Because those are the people that no matter the situation, no matter what happens, they can take those situational things, they can take the things that have been done to them, they can take the mistakes that they've made, and the people that are only about learning about themselves all of a sudden can apply those lessons from any situation. They don't get stuck in certain situations. Whereas the people that are more focused on what's happening outside of them gravitate toward and become more like the situations that happen outside of them. Let's just give an example. Let's say that a child, unfortunately and sadly, grew up in an abusive home. The child, that as they grow older, begins learning about themselves and begins saying, okay, how can I use this to strengthen me? How can I use this to make me a better person or a stronger person? That child can take that unfortunate circumstance, a circumstance that a child should never be in. That child can take that circumstance and all of a sudden create within themselves a stronger person. Let's say there's another child, grows up in the same situation, and all they've learned in life is that negative things happen and bad things happen and nothing good in life happens. That's all they've learned. That child is going to be the adult that says only bad things happen to me. Nothing good can ever come to me. Nothing positive will ever become of me. And so you could have two different people in a similar circumstance growing up with the same opportunity to either learn or to negate, and you have two totally opposite views of the world, both within and without. So what we are talking about is having the ability to become the stronger person, to become the more apt person, to become the person that says, no matter what happens to me or for me or against me, I am going to turn that into food for my soul and into motivation, and I am going to be the stronger person. That is who we are talking about. The unbecoming, the discovery of you, becoming the person who is learning and growing. So number 1 on unbecoming, the discovery of you. Brothers and sisters, you are who you are. You also are who you once were, and you also are who you will be. You are who you are who you once were, and you are who you will be. I hear people that have changed often say, I'm not who I once was, and while that is partially true, it's also partially not true, because you cannot move away from who you once were. You can change your actions. You can change your behavior, but you've always been who you are. Conversely, I've also heard people say, well, I am who I am. But what they're doing is they're coding that in security of protecting their negative behavior, right? Maybe you have someone who has a crazy negative behavior. And all they say when they get confronted about that negative behavior is, well, I am who I am. No. You get to choose. You get to choose who you are going to be. You are who you are now. You are who you once were. But moving forward, you have the superhuman power to choose the direction of your life. And so for those that say, well, I'm not who I once was, they're forgetting the lessons they've learned. And for those that say, well, I am who I am, they're forgetting the power that they hold within. So here's my proposal. You are who you are. You are who you once were, and you're also who you're going to be. You cannot remove any of those, because to remove any of those is to remove the opportunity to learn and to grow and to apply what has happened to you to your life. Brothers and sisters, do not remove any of those elements. Do not take away chapters from your story. As hard and as difficult as some of those may be, oh my gosh, some of us have gone through unspeakable circumstances. Some of us have created unspeakable circumstances. But you know what, my friends? Those are a part of our story, and we cannot ignore them. They are what they are. And those stories, if we allow them to, can give us power and can give us growth and can evolve us into the unbecoming. You are who you are who you once were, and you are who you will be. Number 2, here's my question to you. Write this down if you can. Take a note of this. My question to you is, when you're discovering yourself, what's your fire? What makes you burn inside? What gets you excited? Like, it's those questions. And it's the responses to those questions that will radically change everything. I feel like most people don't ever take time to ask those questions. What's your fire? When you lay down at night, what do you think about? Do you think about stress? Do you think about hardship? Or do you think about how you can apply yourself better? Do you think about those dreams that you had as a kid, the beginner's mind? Do you think about the opportunities that are coming your way? Not the doors that have been shut, but the doors that you're going to build to open. What, my brothers and sisters, is your fire? Hang on to that. When the negativity of life, you have to know what your fire is. You have to know what your passion is, because life is going to bring you hardship. It's just the way it is. But during those times of hardship, when you're climbing the mountain, when you're swimming through the deepest of the deep, when you're working through that pain, when people have left you, when failure has faced you, when you come across those situations, if you know your fire, if you know your passion, that gives you something. Those of us who get swallowed up by the situations in life are the ones that have not discovered our fire, or we have forgotten what makes us breathe and live and have passion. Those of us who have survived the unspeakable are the ones that have hung on to the fire. We have fanned the flame, and we have said, this is not going to deter us forever. It may for a season, right? Because oftentimes when you go through the hardship, or you've created the hardship, the next step most of the time is the healing. But what keeps you moving through that healing, that spiritual rehab, what keeps you moving through that is knowing the fire and knowing the passion. I remember the moments in life. I've kind of been the guy that unfortunately has created the hardship, right? There's those of us that are in our stupidity create the hardship, and then there's those of us that unfortunately are the victims of the hardship. And I've just been the guy that has made some really stupid decisions in life. But what kept my identity what kept me moving forward, when I had to look in the mirror and I didn't like what I saw, what kept me moving forward was I knew what made me breathe. I knew my fire. And I knew that when I made those bad decisions, that wasn't my heart of hearts. It was stupidity, and it was doubt, and it was lack of self-confidence, and it was pride. But I knew in those moments when I looked in the mirror and I saw that reflection, I knew what my fire was. Some people call it a purpose. Some people call it a destiny. I don't care how you package it. Those are just words. What I know is when I look in someone's eye that has that fire burning, brothers and sisters, that's a person that's going to change the world. So what is your fire? It doesn't have to be majestic and great. Just know what it is. The miracle comes in the knowing. The power comes in the action. Number 3, the unbecoming, the discovery of you. The mirror, the myth, and the silence. When you're working through discovery, when you're working through trying to get to know yourself, you have to take a look in the mirror to get the reflection of the true story. And brothers and sisters, when you look at that reflection, you better believe it, because it'll tell the truth. You've had those moments, right, where you've looked in the mirror and you didn't like what you saw. But see, some of us, we just put on the makeup and the mask and we move on like nothing's wrong. And then some of us go, I don't like what I see, so I'm ready to change it. And then some of us have to go back to the mirror time and time again until we finally get it right. But when you look in the mirror and you see the reflection, you better believe the truth, because the reflection doesn't lie. It's kind of like when you wake up in the morning, right? Or maybe you've had a long day and you go look in the mirror and you're like, oh my gosh, these bags under my eyes, they're killing me. But it's the truth. It's telling you a story, right? It's telling you the story that maybe your day was too stressful, or maybe you haven't been eating properly, or maybe you haven't been sleeping enough. The reflection never lies. Believe it, and then choose to do something about it. The myth are the lies that we sometimes listen to. You're never good enough. You can never accomplish that. Who do you think you are? Are they going to listen to you? Why would you write a book? No one cares what you have to say. Why would you want to be a speaker? You're not very good. You always get nervous. You could never get that job. They're not going to hire you. You don't have the right clothes. You have the wrong skin color. You know how they've treated people like you in the past, right? It's those voices, my brothers and sisters, that are telling you a lie. Those are the myths. When you look in the mirror and you see the reflection, listen to the story, but don't listen to the lie. The lies are the ones that are planting negativity. The truth are the ones that are telling you the story. The truth says those bags under your eyes tell you need to get more sleep. The truth says that those few pounds that you know you need to shed, you need to do something about. The truth is that you need to make your mind up and move forward. The lies are the ones that tell you you can't do it. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you right now, no matter what you're doing, you may be listening to this podcast a week from now, a year from now, or watching us right now live. Let me tell you right now, you are enough. You have everything within you. That passion, that dream, that desire that's pushing you forward, you are enough. And let me tell you something else. There is a reason that you have that dream within you. Someone in the world needs you. Someone in the world needs you. It may be more than one person. It may be 1 million, it may be 1,000, it may be 5. I don't care what the number is. Someone in the world needs you. So there is a purpose. There is a reason for that passion and that desire. There is a reason that it keeps you up at night. That idea that you're thinking about, there is a reason for that. Someone in the world needs exactly what you have to offer. So you are enough. You are strong, you are capable, you are superhuman, you are a spiritual, divine being, and you can do whatever you set your mind to. The question is, will you? Lastly, listen to this. The silence is power. During the moments that you doubt, take some time for silence. During the moments that you believe fully, take some time for silence. During the moments that you are questioning, take some time for silence. And during the moments that you are celebrating, take some time for silence. For it is in the silence that we find ourselves. Yeah, it is in the silence that we find ourselves. My brothers and sisters, I don't know where you're at in life. I thank you for watching the show. I thank you for listening to the show. I thank you for using the resources that we are giving you to hopefully bring some positivity to your life. No matter what you're doing, no matter where you're at, no matter what situation is facing you, you are enough. You are strong. Hang on to your fire and discover the best you and allow that to move you forward. Make sure you follow us on social media, M. Gray Media. Thank you, Instagram watchers, for watching. We had quite a few people checking us out. Thank you, everyone on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube to watch this later if you want to remind yourself about the unbecoming. I will see you Thursday with my dear friend Amanda Ruane. I'm excited to have her on, and she's going to bring some wisdom, I promise you. We will talk to you soon. Have a great day.